Thousands have come to Detroit for the big auto show, and every year they go and they see these new shiny cars, and every year they come and see that Detroit really looks the same. Breakingviews' Anthony Curry is with me. I mean, this is a tough place, isn't it?
Absolutely. Think about what's happened to the city over the last 20, 30 years. At its peak, it had, 2 million inhabitants. Now it's got 700,000, spread over a wide area, still needing services, fire, water, sewage and everything. And that really taxes the city. And then you look around, you see how little they've got done. This is a great spot to be on. The Wurlitzer building here, famed obviously for the Wurlitzer musicians and instrument making company, has been derelict for 20, 30 years.
Even though the architecture is beautiful, when you look at this and you see this around the city, right?
Yeah,
You've
absolutely.
got these beautiful buildings, or what's left of them.
Exactly. The problem with this one, it's been empty for years, derelict for years, and the owners aren't doing enough to stop it from falling down. One side of it fell down a couple of years ago. A rafter fell onto the cafe next door. And even though the owners say they can do something about it, the owner of the cafe was saying to me earlier, not much has been done.
So on the other side of the street, if we just spin this way, this tells another tale of what's happening in Detroit.
We've got, look at that building there, the Detroit Opera House. Now, Detroit is famous for both its opera, its symphony orchestra, and its museums as well. Despite the fact that you haven't got a great revenue base for it from the city, they're all doing pretty well. But it's a great building as well. Look further up the street, you've got even more. And it's not as if this area is completely dead. You've got a couple of bars there that, even though we've seen virtually no one on the streets or cars on the streets, they're open today. And the ones I've been into, the cafes and whatever, they seem pretty bustling.
Well, it's interesting. They might be bustling, and you're talking about revenue base. Let's face it, there's just not enough money in this city. This city might go bankrupt.
Yeah, exactly. They've got a deficit of $325 million for last year, and that's gone up even though they tried to cut their budget last year.
And Ford has made a huge investment recently in southeastern Michigan. A lot of money. We're talking about millions of dollars. It's just not enough.
No, it's not enough. I mean, this city has been in decay or encroaching decay for decades now. And sorting that out requires shifting a huge amount of resources to do things that are just too costly. So, for example, if you were to take down, I think, 40,000 or so houses, derelict houses on the outskirts, that would probably double the city's budget. It just can't afford to do it.
No. So check this out, Anthony. This is what they need here. Outsource stuff to Detroit.
Absolutely. This would be a great place to come. You've already got a lot of the infrastructure here. There are roads aplenty coming into Detroit. You've got so many office blocks that are available for rent, and it's going to be cheap. They've already been hiring out space around the city to artists, for example, to try and get a bit of a vibe. And Quicken Loans has been buying up property in the hope that they can then attract other people to come into the city. What a great idea. There's a lot to be loved about downtown Detroit. I've got to be honest with you.
All right, so what's so great about downtown Detroit? Check this one out.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hopeful. I wouldn't say they're quite there yet. As much as I like it, I must admit some of the sort of disaster tourism here is what appeals to me. But I think there's a lot of this city that they can get done. But as we were saying, the finances are so terrible. You've got to hope that others come in and help.
Yeah, you got to do this, I think.
A lot of that as well.
All right, Breakingviews, Anthony Curry. Good to talk to you.
You too.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler. This is Reuters.